Hello, Internet. I guess this is how I return and experiment with this new microphone I got, well, just for my videos. I wasn't really happy with how it was coming out in my little trailers I was making because I had switched to using my digital sketch pad for these because that's where all of my drawings were, and it was the only way to get them on CapCut because, that's fun, even though they shared between devices. Anyway, this is not what this video is for. This is honestly for Cherry, because as of late, there's been a lot more antis, and lately they've been making more videos, and nearly all of them are kids that probably shouldn't be on the internet and barely know anything about it, which if they did, oh boy, what they would know. Alrighty, so how am I going to start this? Let's see now. Well, I guess the best way to start is what I mean by they haven't been on the internet much. Well, for those of you who have and have gone to whatever adult site of your choice, because we know it sure as heck ain't just adults going to the adult sites. We know teenagers are too. And it's probably where some of you got your T-Cest Awakening or some other form. You would know that nearly every kid's cartoon has some sort of incest going on. That includes any video games. Now, I get that it's frowned upon, it's a taboo, and genetically it's not a good idea. But you can't fully argue that nature doesn't allow it, because, how do I put this? A lot of endangered animals that get their numbers too low do get inbred in captivity. And the same goes with out in the wild, there are species of animals that do incest, including turtles. So you can't argue that it's against nature. It's just against, well, social norms. Which, I get that. I get not liking it. I get not being happy about the incest part. But when you try to argue that it's from a kid's cartoon where the logic, quite literally more often than not, is very loose, your logic kind of quickly falls apart. Now then, to the part that I'm happy about is, well, I got you wondering how this is for Cherry. Well, I think it's about time that through the hateful comments and the hateful videos that have been popping up, we get a few positive ones. Now, in the last video I made on them, I think I was saying something about being made an auntie, which honestly, can't wait for that to happen. I will stay very patient. Okay. All right, back to the video, which I should try to wrap up and get to eating breakfast before I go to work today. Oh, right. Okay. So what do I like about Cherry Treats art? Well, it's more so who they are. They're not, even though they got so many fans backing them up, so many supports from the community, they aren't, how do I put this? They aren't arrogant and they aren't selfish. In fact, they actually encourage a lot. I mean, he encouraged me to keep going on my comic, even giving me permission to use his characters in my own version, essentially creating what I would call an ultimate universe based on theirs, which is amazing. It really is. And for those of you that have been questioning why Cherry goes by he when I get that they're biologically female, but those are the pronouns they prefer. That is how they identify. So, people who make videos on Cherry, at least get your facts straight. Like, come on, it's not that hard. Just, double check their pronouns. And yeah, I'm with Cherry. When I saw the... I'm sorry. Last night I was just watching a bunch of Rise of the TMNT videos. Stumbled across again the whole family thinks I'm gay video. I loved it. Gosh. I'm not gonna lie. Stay petty. Honestly, I think that's a great thing. Okay. Now, back to why I like Cherry. Not only that, but like they created a community because a lot of T-sisters, we aren't, how do I put this? We aren't openly loud about it. We aren't, we don't go like walking around like, hey, I ship the Turtle Brothers. Like, no, we're actually very private and shy people, if I'm being honest with you. Like, in our day-to-day life, we look normal, but honestly, we're really shy about it. And more times out of 10, we are artists in some shape, way, or form. For me, I do drawing. For Cherry, he also does drawing. But I got a couple friends who write. And a few others who I believe animate and just do crafts on the side. Now, I do some crafts on the side, mainly crocheting, but every now and again, I'll actually do embroidery. I hope to one day embroider my own Rise of the TMNT shirt. It will take a long time. I know that much. Anyway, Cherry just kind of allowed me to get into a community that honestly has been good for, well, me and my mental health, if I'm being honest. I often get to this dark place because, well, I feel alone and I feel the pressure of not only society, but, well, my family. They want me to keep moving forward, and I do try, but it's kind of hard to when it feels like any mistake you make just disappoints them, especially my dad. Because I look up to him, and I do want to make him proud, but let's just say most days I don't think he is proud of me. And we don't really talk like a father and a daughter. We talk like a counselor and a student. Anyways, back to Cherry. Yeah, he essentially created this safe space for T-sisters like me. And to be honest, if somehow Sneefy, a T-sest artist who used the 2003 designs, I think you should join and not give up on your version, if I'm honest with you. Because they are really good, and unfortunately there's always going to be haters. The Owl House has them, Helva Boss has them, and Houseman Hotel. Plus, goodness, from that video, they said it was like a 12 plus platform. No, it's supposed to be a lot older, like mid-teens to pretty much adulthood. Because, we're allowed to curse, and technically speaking, this is YouTube, not YouTube Kids, so excuse me, child that is probably 12 or younger using an AI chat. Why are you on here? You should be going and watching Coco Melon. I know, I'm bitter. I don't like seeing Cherry getting bashed like that when it's quite literally unwarranted. They're just making art and doing what makes them happy. And they aren't really doing anything against the guidelines. I mean, you're not getting explicit sexual content. You're not seeing such violence that it absolutely has to be censored if you want to see any of it. Nothing like that. They're just making art that just happens to be about T-cest, and I think that's nice. Now, the video that I watched, they didn't really make any points that make sense. And none of them that would actually change minds. Plus, if they actually knew and checked the dates, they would know Cherry is still posting. Plus, how do I put this? There was literally a part that pointed out a video that he, still working on it myself to keep the preferred pronouns. I am just getting out of the societal social norm still. He posted not that long ago. It probably wasn't even like a month ago. It might have been like 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 if I'm being generous. And yes, Cherry is still posting. If for those who know their AO3 account, you would know that. And I love your AO3, Cherry. Oh my goodness, I love seeing my comics. Well, not my comics, but like comics that I just enjoy. I know I didn't work on these. I'm just how do I put this? I am so used to having to defend stuff that I have to say like, God, constantly to my brother I have to tell him I just like the Ninja Turtles. Please let me watch the cartoon. And I have to tell him like it's a cartoon. It takes cartoon logic. Please just leave it be. Okay. Back to Cherry and their comics. Now, are a lot of the comics 18 plus? Yes, I think nearly all of them are 18 plus. Question mark? But that doesn't stop them from creating essentially really well written and emotionally driven comics, like even in hunting season, for those of you who know. I'm not going to give their AO3, so that way some T-sisters anti-T-sisters, go over there and bash it. That's our safe zone. Screw you. Sorry, I still gotta drink water today. Anyway, back to hunting season. At the end, for those of you who know, Leo is able to snap Mikey out of it and let him know that he did accidentally hurt Casey. And he feels really bad about it because, well, it's Mikey. Mikey is a cinnamon roll. He's cinnamon roll. He just can't control himself when instincts kick in. But that doesn't stop him from inevitably learning from his mistakes, even if it's cutting through a haze of an instinct that has been there since essentially their birth. I was going to say creation, but no, these go back farther because they were originally turtles of separate species, So, yeah. And getting back to Cherry's work, Cherry just has this way of creating an emotional connection that feels real. Even when they mainly did fanfics rather than comics, when I first read What Else Do You Have Recorded, I don't know, I felt that connection, especially to Donnie when he was having that essentially internal panic. I don't know, like, all I could think is I kind of wish I was in his situation, not going through the attack. I've kind of learned to deal with that sort of stuff on my own. The way I panic is I kind of just shut down pretty hard. And if I happen to panic alone, I will admit I do sometimes hurt myself. Not through hitting, but, well, sometimes hitting. It depends on how bad it is. I essentially will squeeze my head to the point it hurts, remove my hands, and then do it again. The whole time my hands clenched into tight fists as I bawl and essentially repeat self-hate to myself. Like I said, I'm in a better mental space, but every now and again, things can be pretty rough certain days. And the reason why I said I kind of wish I was in his situation is because, well, Mikey comforts him in such a way that you can tell he loves Donnie. And that they have their own kind of special bond, and that's very sweet. At least I think it's sweet. Getting out of the sad stuff. Essentially, throughout that whole fanfic, which they do have plans to eventually turn it into a comic, which honestly, I will probably be like sitting on AO3 just respawning the site like, come to me, my precious. I just realized how dirty that sounded. Gosh. I'm really hoping some of this pops up really clean on this CapCut. Let me see now. What else? Well, Cherry just has this unique style that I really, really enjoy. And honestly, I kind of have been using it to help figure out the designs for the characters in my version. It is not easy. I am telling you that much. It is very, very difficult to draw the male form when you are so used to drawing the female form. And I will admit, I did think about tracing, but the thing is, I'm weirdly stubborn, and I don't really like tracing over even poses, if I'm honest with you guys. I like to practice until I can figure out how to do it freehand. Now, that doesn't work for everybody. Some people need to trace over poses to make it work, which, go ahead. I did do it once for a pinup for Luna, which, if you're Tsunamura, and for those of you who don't but have seen my AO3, thank you. Anyway, back to Cherry. I keep getting sidetracked. I swear I got ADHD or something. So another thing I love about Cherry Treats, not just as a person, but when it comes to their art, they just have this creativity that doesn't feel filtered. It feels more so focused. And I quite enjoy that. You can tell when they maybe have a little bit of trouble on some, but that doesn't stop them from working hard to make it work. And honestly, I get a little jealous of that. Because I will admit, with some of my comic pages, I do rush them because I want to get them done soon. But I've been slowing down, and honestly, with how Cherry updates things, it's taught me to essentially slow down and occasionally pause. Essentially, Cherry is the reason I can do half of what I can now, if I'm honest with you. The reason I can get an idea of how the male form is supposed to work. The reason the delicate shell even exists. The reason I've essentially come out of my shell more. And I think my parents kind of notice it. But they don't fully know what it is. They think it's this new job, which, I'm going to be honest, I don't like banking. If I could, I'd do my drawings all day, and you guys would just donate, and that would be how I essentially live. Just doing something that makes me happy, and knowing others like it. But that's unfortunately not an option for me right now. And honestly, the best way that I choose to support Cherry is when I can, I buy commissions and stickers from him. Now, I bet you're wondering, don't they have a little thing where you can send tips and stuff like that? Yes, but you got to keep in mind, this is 2025. The job market ain't that great. It's like there's walls for everything just to try and get a job, be it full-time or part-time. And there's always some risks. If you work at Walmart, there is unfortunately a risk of getting pricked by a needle or getting hurt by a customer, depending on if they're on anything. there is the risk in the food industry of either getting hurt while cooking, washing dishes, whatever, or a customer throwing stuff at you. And even now in banking, there's the obvious worries, and then there's also the ones where you could get arrested if you make certain mistakes. Now, I haven't made those yet, but I'm still being cautious. I'm still always double checking myself. Honestly, I really do not like this banking job at all. Now, back to how I support Cherry. I do it through ordering commissions and stickers because, well, for me, I feel a little bit more accomplished and a little better whenever I do something for someone. I feel like I'm doing well. And I feel guilty if I get money for free, even on my birthday, if I'm being honest. And Cherry kind of feels the same way. What they have done a few times, actually, is when someone has sent them a large amount of money unprompted, they will open free commissions for a day in the Discord server that they created. They will set up a couple of them. It's actually how I got my first commission, actually. It was the one I showed in Delicate Shell Part 1. It had Luna playing with Gab Gab. And it is still my lock screen. And my home screen, oh goodness, I love it. I love it so much. It's it's Raph carrying sleeping Luna in the apocalypse back to bed. And I love it. I love it so much. And currently, I did order another commission and another sticker. I don't have a problem. You have a problem. And essentially what it's going to be is mostly a mystery because I'm giving them full free reign on this. I essentially gave him a version of Luna that I do plan to do a comic for. It'll be called Cracked. And for those of you who have been keeping up with my AO3 or heard my ramblings on Discord, you know this one is going to be a lot darker. And this Luna is going to have a body count a lot bigger than the original timeline, where their body count is from the lab. This one just very hateful. It's got like Donnie rivaling levels of a body count. If I'm honest, I want to one day be able to draw my male figures similar to how Cherry does. And honestly, thanks to Cherry, I've been drawing more humans. Granted, you can tell I kind of keep that limited in the comic because I'm not good at drawing people. I try, I really do, but oh my god, it's so hard. But I have been coming out of my comfort zone. I have been doing more background stuff. And I've been pulling a few tricks from Cherry's comics, if I'm being honest. Like with backgrounds, how you can use the characters to kind of be the color, like as if they have an influence on the world around them, which honestly, I find that to be very cool. And you kind of see that through the nightmare sequence that I'm working on. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with that this week. I don't update my comic because, well, I have very little done. I only got one page done this week, if I'm honest with you guys. Like, I thought I had a little bit more done, but, yeah, no, I was wrong. It's a great choice, but the wrinkles on the Krang take a very long time. Anyway, again, back to Cherry. They really are just a great person. And they honestly tell you about themselves almost right away. And I was still very surprised when Cherry essentially invited me to join the Discord. It's still kind of surreal, if I'm being honest. I've been there at least a couple of months. I haven't even I'm not even close to half a year, I don't think. But I feel safe there. I really do. And Cherry just helps a lot with that. I mean, they answer my dumb questions that I have. And it honestly helps me learn a little bit more about the world he's creating. Now, you antis who have been up his rear end can go shove it where the sun don't shine. Because you know what? It seems like a lot of you are in the dark or kids that don't know any better. That honestly, if you hate it so much, why not just, not comment on it so you don't get 100 of these? Like, that's how the algorithm works. Oh, you commented on this video? Well, you must want to see more of it. Let me show you 500 other videos. That's how it works. I know. You know. That's how it works. You secretly want to see more if you do that. Not to hate, but because you secretly like it. If you want to prove me wrong, leave Cherry alone. It is not that hard. You're not just going to harass someone for liking broccoli or if you hate it, are you? Like, personally, I hate broccoli, and unfortunately, it does make me vomit when I try to eat it. I do try to be healthier, but, you can only do so much. Are you just going to harass someone? You're turning into the vegan teacher if you do that. Like, you really want to be compared to the vegan teacher of harassing people and just badgering them on the internet for just doing what they like? Like, come on, dude. It is so dumb. Just leave Cherry and the community alone. It is not that hard, and you know it. Like, there is literally only one person that I've seen that was in Cherry's comment section that said, although they don't like the T-Cest, they love the art. And they didn't ramble on or say that Cherry should change. They just said, although I don't like it, I like the art. And I'm still going to support it and check it out. Which, honestly, is the kindest thing anyone can do. Like, personally, I don't like some animes, but I love anime in general. And I love their designs sometimes, depending on, But, excuse me, it's still early for me. Yeah, the early time for artists of almost 10 o'clock. Anyways, even when it comes to me, if I don't like a show, I won't badger it. If anything, if someone asks if I watched it, I'll say, I tried, it just wasn't for me. Which, honestly, I feel like we're losing a lot of that. We're losing a lot of that, essentially understanding that not everything is going to be to everyone's taste. Cherry understands that and learns that, essentially, he doesn't need to please everyone. For me, I essentially know that not everything is going to go one way or another. Inevitably, there's going to be someone that hates. But as long as more people like than hate what I do, that's enough. It doesn't even have to be by much. It can be like one person more than the haters. Honestly, so far I have yet to get a hater on my delicate shell, but inevitably it will happen. And when it does, I got a community to support me. Because I don't know how I'm going to react. I don't think I'll be mad. I think I'll just be a little sad. But yes, Cherry. Cherry is honestly very strong and mature. He is a lot older than me, and he has a husband, so none of you can say something about them like, oh, this is so gross, I bet this is why they're single. They ain't. They're married, and they have a full-time job. And yet they still do this on the side because they love it. So go ahead and suck on an egg. You anti-T-Cester who is still in the closet about secretly wanting the turtles to kiss. Yeah, that's right. I know a good portion of you are. Or a good portion of you were people who enjoyed TCES but got bullied back into the closet. Yeah. And for those of you who are generally anti-TCESters, why the fuck are you harassing us? Huh? I don't give a shit. I better end this video because it is about half an hour long and I'll have to edit this after work. So, to Cherry, I hope this video gives you a little bit of that support that you need as a person. To Sneefy, I don't know if you're still around or if you're even still on the internet, but honestly, if possible, I would like you to rejoin our community. And honestly, your art is amazing. The story that you told in Black and Blue, it's amazing. And I loved it so much. To my Rara, I love you. And to Tsunamura, Amy, and pretty much everyone in the Discord servers that have been supporting me and my comic, thank you. I really did need those. If I'm honest, most days I wonder if I'm a good artist. I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully next time it's The Delicate Shell Act 2 being complete. Alright, bye.